What's up guys, welcome back to my personal finance channel. My name is Kyle DePepe and today we're going to be looking at Bitcoin and talking about whether you should or shouldn't be buying right now. Should you wait for a dip or should you buy through these new all-time highs? Let's jump right into it. So first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I guess even if you're not new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. It helps share the content with more people, helps out with the YouTube algorithm. But either way, Bitcoin. So today on Coinbase, I was watching this thing just blow through more and more levels. It started the day, I think around 1 a.m. or something in like the $50,000 to $51,000 range. And then as the day went on, it just progressively went higher on more and more volume. Now, first, what is this volume coming from? Well, probably and most likely it is another large company or very large institutional investor taking a stake in Bitcoin. If you look at the volume, it was basically a full 24-hour volume, if not more. It increased it a lot, but just in like a 12-hour period, I think we saw 16 to 20,000 Bitcoin go off. So the next point would be who was doing this volume? Well, it could be MicroStrategy. So they just closed a $1 billion debt offering. Now this is a convertible note that pays 0% interest, so they don't even have to pay interest on this money, but it converts into MicroStrategy stock. They were able to raise $1 billion, which at around, I think $50,000 converts to roughly 20,000 Bitcoin, which was more than the 24-hour volume for the lagging 24-hour period on Coinbase. The 24-hour volume, I think as of this morning, was around 16,000, which means that if MicroStrategy was trying to buy 20,000 Bitcoin, they were doing more than the 24-hour average volume, which is pretty impressive. So it could have been them taking that money and buying Bitcoin today because they believe that the price is going much higher and, well, getting it while they can before it continues to go to 100,000. That's their best bet, right? They're not going to wait for a dip. So let's get to the next point. Should you wait for a dip? Well, maybe, maybe not. So if you're worried about buying the top and it pulls back to 40,000, maybe put half of your money in now. The other option is to just buy now and then hopefully you can save some money over time, and if there's a dip in the future you can put more in. But I think that the key is to look at Bitcoin as a long-term investment. If you truly believe that it's going to go to $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, then buying at 55,000 or buying at 40,000, yes, it's a big difference, but in the scheme of things, it's not, right? I mean, if you're buying one full Bitcoin, that's obviously savings of around $15,000. However, it may never dip back down to $40,000. Think of it this way. When Bitcoin blew through 20K, it never looked back, right? It just kept going. And it had a solid run all the way into the 30s and then finally like around 42 before it had a 25% pullback down to 30K. That was probably the biggest pullback we were gonna get from that run up. Then it just kind of consolidated in that range. And then Tesla came out and said, we have bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin went from like 38, 39,000 all the way to like $48,000 within that next like 24-hour period. So as you can see, as soon as these companies start announcing that they've taken stakes or large notable people start saying they've been taking stakes, it's just gonna cause Bitcoin to go up and up and up. Now, obviously that's gonna be sort of a lagging indicator. Think about it this way. Bitcoin today went from 51,000 to 56,000, no news. We haven't heard of anything else. Obviously, we know that MicroStrategy raised $1 billion, so it could have been them. However, it could have been Tesla buying more, could have been Apple taking a stake, Amazon, Twitter, literally any company could have been taking a stake right now, but they're not gonna announce it until after they do, right? Because as soon as they announce it, it's gonna drive the price up more. So not only is their buying volume gonna drive the price higher, but then that news is also gonna drive the price higher. So if you're waiting to hear if other companies are gonna buy Bitcoin, are interested in buying Bitcoin, it's gonna be too late because as soon as they announce it, not only is it gonna spike up, but it will probably continue to run higher as people start buying in, and you're just gonna have to keep buying the top. One of my friends just last week, after Tesla announced, he missed that, it shot up into the 40s, and then he was like, well, should I buy here or should I wait for it to dip? And that was at like 45,000. Now it's trading at $55,593. So he's not too unhappy with his buys at $45,000. And I was like, hey, if you think it's gonna dip, buy half and then you can wait. But if he did that, well, now he's gonna have to buy higher. So the problem is that the longer you wait, it gives all of these companies, institutional investors, more and more time to take positions and then eventually announce, and both of those events are probably gonna drive prices higher. As more companies announce that they're buying it, other companies are gonna say, hey, we can't miss out on this. We have to convert, even if it's 0.5% or 1% of their balance sheet to Bitcoin, they might buy in. It's just gonna continue driving the price higher. So what could play out? Well, A, we could have a significant pullback, right? We could go from 55 down to 40,000. Some crazy event could happen, whatever it is. But if you believe in the long scheme, the long-term price of Bitcoin going to 100, 200, 500, $1 million, whatever it is, then that little pullback, you shouldn't be selling that, right? It's the same thing with the stock market. You don't buy the stock market, then sell it when there's a 30, 40% pullback. You hold for the longer time horizon, right? As Warren Buffett said, it's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. So for me, I guess I've kind of already put all my cash into Bitcoin, but I was just buying through highs. I was buying some in the $18,000, $19,000 range, thinking like, oh, is it gonna drop back down to 15,000 again? Then it didn't, and it went through 20K, so I bought more. Then it went to 23K and I bought more. Then it went to 25K and I bought more. Then it went to 40 and I bought more, and then it went down to 30 and I was like, I should have stopped buying more, shouldn't I? But now it's at 55, so I'm not too unhappy. The problem is that the longer you wait, you might not see those dips. Or it might run to 70, 80K before you see a dip down to 60K. So then buying at 55 is still a good buy. You have to think about all these possible scenarios, but the biggest thing right now is that there's more and more headline risk for the price of Bitcoin. And what I mean by that is companies or wealthy individuals or, I don't know, cities, countries, whatever it is, announcing that they're moving their cash or fiat currency into Bitcoin, which is gonna drive the price higher on that news. And it's also giving them time to continue buying and drive the price higher, just like what happened today on crazy volume. So based on all of that, if I had extra cash, I'd probably be buying. However, I've already put all my cash in, and the extra cash that I had, I actually started buying Ethereum mining rigs so that I can mine Ethereum and then convert some of that Ethereum to more Bitcoin. So I'm pretty bullish on the whole situation. If you can't tell, this is not financial advice, but all I'm saying is, everybody that keeps saying, oh, I'm gonna wait for the dip, or I'm gonna wait for the pullback. Well, I'll tell you what, we got a 25% pullback from, a little over 40,000 all the way back down to like 29, 30K. So if you didn't buy that dip, I don't know what dip you're waiting for. So basically from here, it could just be straight up, at least for a little while until we see a significant pullback. However, as I'm saying this, it could drop 5K, 10K, 20K, what do I know? I hope you guys enjoyed this, give you some food for thought, but basically the biggest thing I see is headline risk with all of this, because there are more and more people, even if it's just MicroStrategy or Tesla buying more, like this volume today could have been MicroStrategy. But if it's not, it could have been an Apple, could have been an Amazon, could have been some other company buying Bitcoin and taking a stake or converting some of their cash to it, and then they're gonna come out and announce it. So not only do we see the price of Bitcoin go up $4,000 or $5,000 on someone purchasing, but then we're probably gonna see it pop again on their announcement of, hey, we just bought another 20,000 Bitcoin. So I would just consider that, take that with a grain of salt, and if you're bullish long-term, buying through highs isn't the worst possible thing. You can always deploy half of what you would buy and wait and see if you get a little bit of a pullback. However, when I tried to do that, it just kept going higher. So I just started buying it up, and now I'm in the money on every single one of my buys. So at the end of the day, if it dips, it dips. Hopefully you can save some money. You're living below your means, is that correct? Basically, if you're making $2,000 a month, you should be spending less than that, and you should be able to save some, which means that every month you can take a little bit of that money and invest in Bitcoin or the market or whatever it is, put it in a savings account, put it in a Roth IRA, just do something with it so it's not sitting in cash. Buy assets, because that will help your money grow into the future, and think long term. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, again, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below. But until next time, thanks for watching.